Welcome back, everybody. This week's going to be Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival. And this is one of those CCR songs that gives folks a little bit of trouble when they're trying to play along with the record and it's just sort of not sounding right. There is a secret to getting this right, which I will reveal in just a little bit. There's basically two guitars that are going on and there's two different tunings. So we're going to figure out what that is and I'll walk you through all of that. All right, if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. Bell lets you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. There's a button below. Or you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all my members, and the links are all in the description below. Check it out. Okay, so Fortunate Son. So yeah, this is one of those songs, and if you've seen some of my other lessons about CCR, you'll probably know where I'm going with this. But in the band, there's two brothers, John Fogerty and Tom Fogerty. John's writing pretty much all the music. Tom plays rhythm guitar. John is lead guitar. And for a lot of these CCR songs, John has a special tuning that he does for his stuff, and Tom stays at standard tuning. So right now I'm in standard tuning, so why don't I cover what Tom's parts are first and get them out of the way, because they're frankly super easy on this song. So this song is in the key of G. Whoops. And like I said, so Tom's parts are all standard tuned, and basically the chords that he's playing, they're all bar chords, and they're going across all 6 strings, but he's only sort of hitting the top or the strings 6, 5, 4, and 3 as he's going across, right? So for example, first chord is a G. Just a straight G bar chord. Second is an F. Third is a C, but notice my index finger is still going all the way across to the 6th string on that 3rd fret. It's important to get that, because that's what you're hearing on the record, right? Those are all the verse chords. And then when it goes to the It Ain't Me, the chorus part, we just add a D chord. Same fingering as we did with the C. You want to bar all the way across to the 6th string. Back to a C. Okay, so those are all the chords, how he's sort of fretting the chords on there. And his strum is very, very consistent throughout the whole thing. It's like this. And notice there's a little bit of that picking up of the index finger. You do that, you know, he doesn't do it every single time, but it pops in there every once in a while. And then your chorus. It's pretty much that driving all the way through. And notice in terms of my tone for his part, it could be 100% clean. I've got like the lightest amount of, my gain is turned as far off as you can on my blues driver, for example. And I'm on the bridge pickup. I'm sure he didn't play a Les Paul, but that's what I'm playing right now. But it's just the lightest amount of sort of fuzz on the note, or, you know, hair on the note, I guess. But that's all there is to it. Chorus. So in terms of the chords going through, that's it. There's a verse pattern, G, F, C. And there's a chorus pattern, G, D, C. And that's it. So that's it for Tom's part. Let's hop on over to John Fogerty's parts. It's much more interesting, and we'll talk about the tuning to kick us off. Okay, so John Fogerty's parts, they all have to do with the tuning. And if you've been playing along with the record and you think you got it right, but something's kind of not right, this is why, if you haven't changed the tuning. So he uses, on a number of songs, he uses, I don't know what the right term for it is. I'm going to call it D standard, okay? It's like taking a regular standard tuned guitar where your low note is an E pitch, and it's taking all of your strings and it's tuning them down, in effect, 2 frets or a full step, I guess, right? So when you tune your E string down a whole step, that becomes a low D. And your A becomes a G, your D becomes a C, your G becomes an F, your B becomes an A, and again, your E is a D, right? So those notes. Okay. Now notice, because we tuned them all the same. We tuned them down all the same amount. The relationship to the notes across the fretboard, for what you already understand about chords and a little bit about soloing, it's all the same. It all still works. It just means when you make a A-shaped chord, for example, in this tuning, you're now playing the pitch of a G. Okay, right? Because we took an A note and we tuned it down, we tuned it down a full step. So when you play a chord off of that, all the chord shapes still work, but now the pitch is different. It's down a whole step from what you're used to. So that's probably clicking for a lot of you. It might be new for some of you, but stick with me. It'll work. Okay. Okay. So the tone on his guitar, to my ear, is actually very clean. I think he's playing his Rickenbacker. It's the Sunburst Rickenbacker, sort of like John Lennon's, but it's got an F hole in it. And but he had one of those, and he put a Gibson humbucker in the bridge, and he played a number of songs with that. But this guitar sounds like it's that to me. All right, but we're in our new tuning. Now remember, the song is in G. All right, so every time we're going to play something that's in G, we're going to be playing what we're used to as an A position, right? Like that is on the 5th fret, a bar chord normally is an A, but now it's at the pitch of a G, because we've tuned everything down. All right, so the intro riff. So the intro riff just has the bass note and the drum kicking on a G note, right? And so here's the opening riff that he does. He's just outlining the chords that are going to happen. Slide up into it. Same thing, down 2 frets. Next one, we're going to hammer on from open to 2 on the G string, and then we're going to fret the 2nd string or the 1st string, 2nd fret. And then do the same thing, but open on the E string. And then finish it with a... Okay? That's a clue when you're listening to it. That's a clue that you're in an open tuning, because you hear that and you hear that string ring, right? Right? So if you think about it, it's just that part of a G chord. That would be a G chord, right? We're just playing the 3rd and the 1st string. That would be an F pitched chord, but we're just playing the 3rd and 1st. This would be a what is that? This would be a C-pitched chord. And then a G. Pitched chord, right? So anyway, stay with me. Okay, so that gets you into the song. So the way that he's fretting these, now when he's playing the parts on the song, just remember, Tom Fogerty is playing that driving beat. So it leaves John free to play minimalist on the chords, and I think it's him that's playing all the little riffs that you're hearing that fall in between there. So, right, first chord is a G, right, but he's going to play as an A shape. And he's just sort of picking. Playing that D, back to an A. But here's where we start getting these little riffs. Right? It's all off of that A shape riff, and they all sort of fall into place once you get into this tuning. And then on the chorus, your shapes are an A and an E shape, D, and he does these little riffs off of the D chord. Right? You start to hear, oh yeah, that is sort of an A shape based riff. It ain't me. Sort of variations you can do. So you just sort of rock off of that A to close out those choruses. But that's where everything is. It's because of the tuning, and it makes all those riffs completely accessible. Okay, there's one more part. There's the, I guess I'm going to call it an interlude, whatever you want to call it. But it's the part where it's that part, whatever you want to call that. And that's really all there is to it. You're alternating an open fifth string, which is now a G note, right? And you're coming up here and you're playing, all you're doing is playing the third, second, and first string. You're going to do this shape. Yeah, this tuning messes with this guitar. Right, so slide it down a fret, down the third fret, and slide up in the fifth fret. Wow. Hope your guitar stays in tune more than mine does, but and then to that, you add your G. And if you've got a second guitar, your second guitar can also hold down that note while this is going on. And it sort of sounds like he's doing an up pick, right? Because maybe he's alternating he's doing this pick on the fifth string. And when he comes back up here, I think it's very difficult to cleanly maybe it's a down. Do it however you want, right? But here it is. Right, so that's all the parts. So the magic really on this song for me is to sound like the record is really to that tuned down guitar and, you know, play it with that. And even if you only have one guitar in the band, it'll actually sound killer either way. If you stay in standard tuning, you know, transpose stuff as one guitar and hold it all down, it'll rock. If you have a single guitar and you actually do the tune down, it'll also rock. It just means you got to hold down some of the rhythm and mix in the sort of noodling. But the song rocks, just period, and it can rock plenty on one guitar. But I love getting this D standard tuning going, and just the strings sound different, right? So that is Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I hope you learned something new today. If you like what you saw and you haven't done so already, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. Bell will let you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this lesson, and if there's another song you want me to take on and do something similar, let me know what that is. And until next week, take care, everybody.